Micah Parsons is getting flamed on Twitter right now, and honestly, he kinda deserves it. By the way, I'm a Micah fan. It's funny, I'm not hating on him. I actually kinda relate to it. But look at this, man, like, come on. He tweeted on August 20th saying, if my Warriors don't get James Wiseman, I'm done with them. Then he's been spotted at a game wearing a 76ers jersey, another game wearing a Dallas Mavericks jersey, which, I mean, that kinda makes sense since, you know, he plays for the Cowboys. But now most recently, he's wearing a Celtics jersey. Like, what are you doing? I get being a fan of two teams, man, but holy cow. Like I said, it's all love, though. I'm a fan of Micah Parsons. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and happy Thursday. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the other half of my NFL quarterback stat predictions. I do want to say right away that this is gonna be very, very weird because there's about 7 to 8 quarterbacks here who realistically could not be starting the full year, so I kind of just had to make some guesses. But I think for the most part, I ended up addressing everything pretty well. So before we hop into the video, a couple of quick plugs as always. One, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. Or if you're 18 years or older, head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. But remember, guys, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, so the first division of the day is going to be the AFC South, and we will start with the Houston Texans. My prediction is CJ Stroud does get the start there from day one, and his rookie year looks a little something like 3,500 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. It's going to be interesting there. You know, you really don't know what to expect, although I do think CJ is going to be arguably just as good as Bryce, and the Texans actually do have a few weapons who are capable of catching touchdowns instead of just one guy. New coach, new system, new team. I like CJ's chances. All right, moving on. Next, we got the Indianapolis Colts. So this is going to be a prediction that's unique and different from every other prediction I have, because some teams I actually am predicting 2 quarterback stats for when the other guy takes over today. This one I'm not, because I feel like AR's rookie year is going to be similar to Josh Allen's in the sense that he's going to start, he's going to do okay a game, then pretty bad, then he'll get benched for a couple weeks and, you know, kind of repeat it until he really figures it out. That being said, I think Anthony Richardson's rookie year will end with 2,600 passing yards, 12 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 500 rushing yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. I think those numbers, by the way, are going to look a lot better than they sound, if you know what I mean. All right, and moving on, we got the Jags and Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to continue to climb. This year, he's throwing for 4,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. If you're asking me, the addition of Calvin Ridley is going to do absolutely nothing except help that team, help that offense, and help Trevor Lawrence. He's the next coming of Christ. You just wait. And ending, we've got the Titans with Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis. So I've stated before, I think Tannehill is going to get benched around week 8 or 9. I don't think he'll be doing that bad either. I think Tannehill will be at like 2,700 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 8 picks. But the team isn't going to be doing that well, so they're going to bring in the rookie, Will Levis, and he is going to throw for 2,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions to finish out the season. He's going to be bad. Why do I think that? Because he's bad. I'm going to have people asking me, how much college ball did you watch of Will Levis? Enough to know he wasn't getting drafted in round 1. Maybe I'll be wrong on the guy, but I think he's ass. All right, now we will go to the NFC South, and our first team is going to be the Panthers, and I think Bryce Young will end up getting the start. Like I said, I think him and CJ are going to be pretty close too, but Bryce I would give a little bit of an advantage to just because I thought he looked the most ready. So I'm going to say 3,700 passing yards, 24 passing touchdowns, and we'll go 14 picks. I don't really think either of these 2 quarterbacks are going to come in and do bad, Bryce or CJ. Really, I feel like they're both set up for pretty much immediate, not full success, but some success. All right, up next, we've got Desmond Ridder, and I've got him at 3,100 passing yards, 15 passing touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. I just don't know what to think with this guy. Like, I think he could be good. I think that he was fine as a Bearcat, obviously, but that's NCAA. Last year, he didn't look bad. He didn't look terrific. I don't think they're going to be throwing the ball a whole lot. I think this is a pretty safe gamble. Plus, if he only throws 9 picks, they're not going to have any incentive to start Taylor Heineke, so he'll keep his job the whole year if that happens. And now we're moving on to the Saints with Derek Carr, the man who is going to lead the league in passing this year. 5,100 yards, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He's going to have a career high in yardage, touchdowns, and picks. My logic behind this is the Saints have a good team with good weapons, a good quarterback, but a terrible coach. They're going to be just like the Buccaneers that one year when Jameis Winston threw for 5,000. They're going to constantly be down. Not because, Derek's throwing 30 picks like Jameis did, but they're going to constantly be down, so Derek's going to have to be throwing, and it's going to end with him having more passing yards than anybody else in the league. And moving on, we got Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield. I got 4,100 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. I don't think Baker's great. I don't think Baker's bad. I think he's really impatient and he likes to force a lot of things, but good for him. He's got a lot of talent on this team. I don't think he'll ever get benched, but I don't think I'm confident he'll be back next season. But again, like always, I could be wrong. Okay, now it is time for the AFC West. Kicking things off, we got Russell Wilson, who I think is going to be a potential candidate for comeback player of the year if somehow DeMar Hamlin doesn't win it. I got Russ throwing for 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. I would have more touchdowns, but I just don't think the receivers in Denver are as good as they were in Seattle, and that's not a knock on Judy and Sutton, even though it kind of is. I just don't think, the chemistry and the relationship is really there yet, where Russ is comfortable to just be hucking him down there like he was in Seattle all the time. I think he's going to be much more patient, much more careful, which isn't a bad thing, but it's going to keep his touchdown count kind of low. Only time will tell. And up next, we got Patrick Mahomes. 5,000 passing yards, 38 passing touchdowns, 13 picks. The only reason I got his touchdowns dropping a little bit is because I think they're going to use Pacheco a little bit more this year. Personally, if you're asking me, I don't think that offense is even going to notice that they lost Juju Smith-Schuster. Anybody you give Pat is going to be good, but he's not throwing for more yards than Derek Carr. Okay, now we got Jimmy G. 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 picks. That's what he does, man. Go look at Jimmy. That's literally what he does, if he gets hurt or not. I am going to give him a couple bonus touchdowns, though, because of Devontae Adams, but Jimmy, I don't expect him to actually look a whole lot different on a different team. I think he's just going to bring the same energy. And ending the division, we've got Justin Herbert. I've got a big year for him. 4,900 yards, 40 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Dude, they got Quentin Johnston added to that offense. They're just going to be whipping that ball around. Assuming Eckler does stay, I'm going to keep Herbert under 5,000 because they're going to be running the ball a lot with Eckler. He's too good not to, but even he catches a lot. I'm not sure if that's a career high for Herbert in touchdowns. I think it is, but this year he's hitting 40. All right, now it's time for the last division, the NFC West. So first off, we got this Cardinals predicament. Nobody knows when Kyler is actually going to come back as of now. So my prediction is Colt McCoy starts the season and throws for 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Then Kyler will come back, throw for 2,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 picks, but run for 400 yards and 5 more touchdowns. There's a lot of uncertainty because I just don't know when he's coming back. I don't know what's going on there. I don't care about that team. But that's my prediction for those two, and I feel like that's honestly pretty fair. Next up, we got the Rams and Matt Stafford. I think he's going to come back and stay healthy for an entire season again. That being said, I got him finishing with 4,500 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Matt likes to throw picks, but Matt can also throw a lot of yards. And even if Kupp gets hurt again, Matt can still throw, man. He played on the Lions, and he did pretty good for himself on the Lions for a long time. They didn't do good. He did. I don't even remember what happened with him last year. Was it his elbow, right? His arm? Anyway, going on to San Francisco. This one I could predict up to 4 different people for, but I'm going to pick Brock Purdy because rumor has it he is their guy and he's going to be ready for week 1. My guess is Purdy finishes this year with 3,600 passing yards, 22 passing touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He's going to cool down a little bit, but he's still going to be pretty good. And ending, we've got Geno Smith. I think Geno throws 4,000 yards on the nuts, 31 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. I think Geno will be fine, but he's going to have a little bit of a descent. I know they got another great receiver, but I just don't think Geno is going to continue to be that elite like he was last year. These numbers are still good, but I just don't think he will be last year's Geno. All right, guys, and that is going to be it for me predicting the stats of every NFL quarterback. We've got all the starters done now. Let me know where you agree. Let me know where you disagree. And if you did enjoy this video, don't be afraid to show support because I appreciate any and all help. With everything I just said, though, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.